Hey everybody, this is Rich. Good evening, and welcome to not another edition of Cheap Red Wine, the video show on which I have a sip of cheap red wine and tell a story. This is something a little bit different. Now, some of you may know, some of you may not know, that I have a blog called Rich's House of Vinyl. And in this blog, I pick a record or CD each weekday from my music collection. And I play it in the car during my commute to work, and if necessary, I finish it up during the commute home. And I write a short review or just an entry on that particular record or CD for the blog, Rich's House of Vinyl, which can be found at www.richeshouseofvinyl .wordpress.com. So, here's the situation. My friend Brian, who lives just outside of Detroit, asked me how I pick the records or CDs for the daily record segment of Rich's House of Vinyl. Now, as Martha and the Vandellas instructed, I do not intend to forget the Motor City, and I do not want my friend to lose his mind in Detroit Rock City. Therefore, I'm going to explain and illustrate the process of how I pick the music I listen to and talk about on my Rich's House of Vinyl blog. This is not exactly a random number process, at least I'm sure mathematicians and people like that would tell you that it's not a purely random process, but it is sort of a chance process. And it's pretty geeky, I'll tell you that right now. So, just be forewarned. But what I'm going to do is actually go through the process and pick two of the records or CDs that I'll be listening to next week for my blog. I've already picked the records or CDs for Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday of next week. No, I am not going to tell you what they are. You're going to have to go to my blog and find out. However, I am going to pick the Thursday and Friday music, CDs, or records right now in front of your very eyes, so you can see the process, so you can see that there really is chance elements involved, that I'm not pretending that I'm being all random and whatnot, when really I'm just picking stuff out that I like and, whatever. So, the first thing I do, I have a die, a 6-sided die, which I put into this Santa Claus Land, Indiana shot glass that I retrieved from my great Aunt Ellie's house last June. Okay? I'm going to roll this. If the number comes up 1 to 3, then I'm picking a vinyl album. If it comes up 4 to 6, I'm picking a CD. Here we go. The number came up a 3. So I'm picking an album. Next thing I do, I have a pouch here with some Scrabble tiles in it. I'm going to pick a Scrabble tile. The letter will correspond to a list in my catalog here of vinyl albums. Okay? Now, this is the CDs. This is the vinyl one. Let's pick the Scrabble tile, find out what letter we're talking about. The letter is Q. Okay? So I go to my Q list. Each list has 100 records or CDs. Now, keep in mind, I've been collecting records since 1975 or so. So I have a few. So I've gotten to the Q list here, or I'm getting to the Q list. Okay, now I'm going to pick a card. This is a couple decks of cards that I also retrieved from Great Aunt Ellie's house in Altoona, Pennsylvania last June. Shuffle the cards. Each card has a number written on it, aside from whatever the face value is of the card. So I've shuffled the cards. I'm picking a card. The number on this card is the number 3, right at the top. So I go to the Q list, and I go to album number 3, And I discover that it's a Rhino Records compilation called New Orleans Rhythm and Blues Volume 3. This is, I can tell you right now, this is a very good compilation of New Orleans music from the 60s, late 50s, early to mid 60s. And it was a 3-record set. I'm going to be listening to Volume 3, and that's going to happen on Thursday. So, you've seen the process. Let's run through it one more time. And I'm going to do this quickly because I don't know how much time I have. Don't want this to go on too long. Santa Claus Land shot glass. Rolling the die. This time it came up a 5. So we're looking at a CD. So we're going to pick from the Scrabble pouch a tile. The letter is H. Alright, so we're going to pick a card from the combined decks of cards, also from Great Aunt Ellie and Great Uncle Frank's house in Altoona. Oh, this one is number 98. So we go to the CD catalog. We go to letter H, G, H. We go to number 98. Number 98 is Double Fantasy by John Lennon and Yoko Ono. So, next Friday, I will be listening to and rating a little bit about Double Fantasy by John Lennon and Yoko Ono. Now, that is actually I actually have that on vinyl, but I've put it onto a CDR. And that's the thing, when I pick something on vinyl, in order to listen to it in the car, I don't have a record player in the car, so I put it onto a CD in order to listen to it. So, there you have it, my process. A die, a deck of cards, Scrabble tiles, and notebooks with titles. So, I hope you've enjoyed this, and I hope it gives you some insight into Rich's House of Vinyl and the Daily Record. And maybe I'll come back next week with a video and report on how things went with my listening during this coming week. Thanks a lot. Thanks for your support.